I'm Michael O'Leary and I watch All About Sport on Cavan TV. So should you.
Hello and welcome to All About Sport on CavanTV.com, coming to you live from our studio at the Cavan Crystal Hotel, Dublin Road, Cavan Town. All About Sport is Ireland's first live web TV sports programme with nearly 2 million views in 212 countries worldwide. Coming up on the show, I am joined by sports commentator Sean McCaffrey from Northern Sound. Sean, you're very welcome to the show. So you're better known for your morning show and that very distinctive voice of yours. Anyone who listens to Northern Sound in the morning will know breakfast rolls in Northern Sound with Sean McCaffrey. But tell us a little bit about your huge passion for motorsports, Sean.
Yeah, I suppose that would be the main sport that I would focus on, all right, and it was like everything else. Probably growing up wouldn't have thought, mind you, I didn't do much growing up, in fairness to anyone that ever meets me. I know I'm sitting at the minute, I'm still only around about 5 foot tall, but when I was growing up, people would have looked and thought, or would have think to myself, well, motorsport mightn't be the path I would have been taken, because it wasn't something maybe that was in the family, but I always had a passion for cars, enjoyed the cars, always wanted the car, got my hands on the car, and then I kind of took it from there. Started off with night navigations, where the majority of people, anyone that's involved in the motorsport end of things, that's kind of where they start off, which is a bit like orienteering at night, reading a map, getting from one point to another, A to B, set to a fixed time, roads are open and stuff like that. Like, so it's good fun, it's an education in timekeeping, counting, adding and finding your way about. And then that progressed then up into doing a little bit of stages rallying, navigating, done a little bit of driving, run out of money, took a break from it, and then come back at it again then in later years. Yeah,
it's not, obviously it's like, you know, it's a very expensive sport, and as you said, you started off with, you were rallying, you were behind the wheel at first?
No, funny, I was always at navigating, always at the navigating end of it. I enjoyed that end of it more. You must have
nerves of steel to sit, like, and as you know, a navigator, you're literally sitting with your map,
with your head down, with your map down.
In front of you,
yeah, well, for the night end of it, certainly you're sitting looking down into what they refer to as a potty lamp, which is like a large magnified sort of glass with a light in it to obviously boost the size of the map that you're looking at. So I suppose, yeah, that would have helped then when you move on then to stages rallying, which obviously is the closed roads, going as hard as you can, down a fixed stage. You're reading then notes, obviously, which is majority of the time they were pre-prepared. Now a lot of the navigators now would make up their own notes. I never got to that level, yeah. But you're reading pre-prepared notes. But it's funny, I was always blessed, even when growing up and going away. I always loved reading in the car. So I suppose it was that way that I was used to, that I could travel about and never have an issue sitting in the car.
I was saying that you wouldn't want to suffer from motion sickness or anything like that. For people who are watching it and thinking, I'd like to get into navigating, you know, is it easy to get involved in? Or is there a way, how do you go about it?
Well, obviously your motor club, contact it firstly. You've Cavan Motor Club here, very strong club here. You have Monaghan Motor Club as well, which would have been one of the first clubs that I was involved in. And again, as I say, probably starting off the night navigation end of it is the best to start off on, as I say, because you get a real good ground and a real good knowledge of reading a road. Like, it's amazing when you look at a map how much you can learn about the road that you're travelling down, like what sort of bend you're going to come up to. Yeah. Bridges, you'll see the little river, so you know you're going to be crossing a bridge. You'll pick out focal points like a chapel or a school and stuff like that. So you progress from that. You learn about timing, how to get somewhere in a specific time, how to add and subtract time if you're too early or too late or that. And then you take it from there, because when you move into stages rally, and believe it or believe it not, it's a little bit easier than the night navigating, because you know where you're going from A to B. It's fixed for you. It's just a case of giving good, clear, concise notes to your driver to ensure that both you and he are safe within the car, and that he knows what's ahead of him and stuff like that as well.
So obviously the Cavan Stages rally is coming up soon, and recently you commentated on the Monaghan Stages rally on Sunday. So you're involved with the Monaghan Motor Club, but you were saying in this particular region, you know, motorsports is very, very strong. Yeah,
it's incredibly strong. So it is, and as you highlighted there, Monaghan Stages rally last weekend, round of the national, around the Sligo Palace Border Championship, two of the most competitive championships. You'll get in rallying in the country here, and you have the top drivers from all over Ireland coming to these events, but the majority of them is based with us here in the region. Like, and Chris Armstrong is one name there that comes to mind straight away from the Cavan perspective. He's been nominated for a Billy Coleman Award again at the moment, which is a sort of a scheme that's in place for young up-and-coming drivers. Other drivers in recent times have picked it up. Stephen Wright was the holder of it last year, and he then competed across in Belgium, and he's back now competing in Ford Fiesta. Daniel McKenna picked it up a number of years ago as well. He's actually now competing in the Junior World Rally Championship, which is one step below the World Rally Championship that's running at the moment. So that's a wonderful stepping stone for any of the drivers. And then, like, there's been names just tripping of the tongue there's about here then as well. Gary McPhillips would be another lad there that's in a Mark II Escort, one of the top exponents of the Mark II Escort here. Jonathan Pringle's another one I can think of. Niall Maguire, multiple national winner as well. Equal record holder, I think, with Andrew Nesbitt for the Cavan stages, but I'm sure he'll try to push this year to beat that record, so he will as well.
Are you going to be involved yourself in any of the stage rally? Have you kind of, are you still doing any navigating, or?
Funny, yeah, we'd taken a break from it there. It's like everything else, it takes the few pound to back you to do these events, and then with a young family at home and that as well, took a little break to ensure that give them a little bit of time in that. But myself and the brother-in-law would have competed back a number of years ago, and took a break, and we decided then we'd reached a stage in life now. We said, well, let's go back out and give this another go. So we went back out there in October of last year and done the season there just gone by, and now the results we were getting was harmless, but the fun we were having was brilliant. It was just good to get back out, and it was amazing how much it kind of has moved on in regards to getting it all back into your head, about reading the map and looking at the map. And towards the end of the events, we were beginning to get the results together and stuff like that, so we were. So it's as I say, it's a little bit of fun. If you approach it for a little bit of fun and an enjoyable evening, you'll be able to do that. Great.
Well, I think we have a clip coming up, and you might tell us a little bit more about this. Is one particular, I suppose, a standout moment for you when you were rallying, one of your most memorable moments. But before we go to that clip, just tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, well, it's memorable maybe when you look at it for all the wrong reasons. From the point of view, like everything else, there's an element of danger associated with the sport of rallying. You're going as hard as you can in a car that has all the top-notch safety facilities in it, and I suppose that was shown to the fore in this particular incident back from 2000, I think it was 2003, 2004. People will be familiar with Bono football field, and I was in a car, unfortunately, that ended up somewhere about the 45-metre line in Bono, and I think maybe you'd have the clip there. You'll see it was just one of those occasions where there was a bend, and I can still remember it, 1 mile down the road. It was very fast, flat out stuff, crest, 6 left at the chevron. I've never forgotten the notes, but unfortunately a car previous to us had hit the chevron, which is those yellow and black signs that you see, so the marker was gone, and we hit the crest and then realised, oh, there's a 6 left here, and there was a hole in the hedge, and the driver went straight for the hole in the hedge because we thought, we're going to go out into the field here, we'll be grand, we'll be okay. And I think the clip will tell you that we didn't go out into the field, unfortunately.
You're just dying to get on the field. You're like, I'm not togging out today.
I'm not togging out
you might
today.
as well.
We started as rally men and finished as footballers.
Right, well, look, we're going to go straight to that clip now.
Me doing a handbrake turn, I'm the man to make the tyres burn. Stay over, Johnny, Johnny, stay over, Johnny. Oh, I am a rally driver on the circuit for years. I'm a walking man now for jamming gears. You should see me doing a
That's brilliant.
So yeah, as you say, thankfully
you were any injuries or?
No, thank God, not for either of us. Probably sore on the pocket, all right. Unfortunately, from the car having to be fixed and stuff like that. But in fairness, it was the safety features of the car that really stood to us on that day as well, because the cage, the seats, and everything else remained in place. And even just looking at it back there again brings back to me. I remember we went out into blue sky. We didn't know then what we were going down. And we both had a chance to tighten the belts and just wait then for the impact. But thankfully, we walked away from it. And that, it goes to show it is a safe sport, in fairness, that something like that can happen. And you can just see it on the screen there again. Just
like
the stills, So
it's remarkable when you see, something like that, and that you come out of that, kind of unscratched or without any injuries. I was going to ask you what was one of your most dangerous times as a navigator. Would you say, would that be up there with them?
Well, yeah, it was one of those moments, I suppose, where you knew something was out of your control. We'd went for that little hole in the hedge. There was that split second we thought we were going to go out into a field. Then there was the sudden realisation we don't know where we're going now, because obviously there's a big drop down into the field. So you do at times probably look and think and wonder, you were very lucky to have got away with that, and we did get away with it, but the majority of the time they always do is say the safety features is there. But there is another one time I can recall as well. Again, I was sitting in a rally car and we come down into a junction and caught a bit of loose gravel and the car fired around. We ended up just the front of it, dropped down into the hedge. And we were running near the back of the field. Listen, we were never the big competitors near the front. But we got out of the car and there was a crowd of people up standing in a field, and one of them shouted, "Here, come on, we get these boys back on the road again." They come down, and I don't know, there must have been 20 or 30 people got round and physically lifted the car back out of the hedge, put it on the road, and we went from there. So, and we finished the event then as well, so fair dues to them.
Oh gosh, it sounds brilliant. So will you be involved in the Cavan Sages rally? I know is coming up now in May.
24th of May, it is indeed, yeah.
So it'll be...
probably anybody that's working and keeping an eye on Ulster Championships know the 24th of May is a big D-Day here as well. It's going to be a busy day. Which is probably unfortunate, but listen, they're two different sports. It's going to happen that they'll coincide maybe like that, and it's unfortunate maybe when you have a love for both sports that you kind of have to make the call, make the decision. My mind is set on one, but that could change maybe prior to running up to it and that as well. So
absolutely. I suppose now that you're not probably doing as much navigating, but you're obviously very busy with your morning show on Northern Sound, but you do a lot of sports commentary as well, and I suppose one very distinctive moment in your career was back in 2013. It was the Ulster Minor final. It was obviously the Monaghan game. Give us a bit more information about that, because I mean, I saw this clip and I thought it was just brilliant. Yeah,
it was, again, I suppose the historic nature of it, and the wonderful thing whenever you're involved in this sort of thing, an opportunity like this maybe could arise. You never envisaged it was going to happen, but Monaghan obviously were in an Ulster Minor final. It had been 1946, I think, from the last won an Ulster Minor title, so it was historic even in that nature to be there, to be contesting it. I got the honour then of commentating on it. It was one of those games, Tyrone pulled away, it looked like it wasn't going to be Monaghan's day. Monaghan come back into it in the second half, took it down to 2 points, and it's the stuff maybe that stories was wrote about. 2 points in it, minute to go, Monaghan get a penalty, and at a time when you're commentating, you're obviously supposed to remain biased or unbiased. You're supposed to be neutral, you're supposed to be taking both sides of it, but being a Monaghan man, obviously it went out the window, so it did. And I suppose I didn't realise the enormity of what had happened towards the end of that game until all was over. I had left the ground, and it was a massive day obviously for Monaghan that day. They won the Ulster and
something
the
like
Minors.
68 years, was it? It was like
6 years waiting for that minor, and they'd got the senior for the first time in 25, but it wasn't until afterwards that I started to meet people, and they were going on to me about, oh, it was unreal to hear on radio, you'd lost your life, everything, and I didn't remark it at the time, you know, that I got so excited about what was going on and what was happening and stuff like that as well. But listen, you do listen back to it and you be thinking to yourself, maybe did you have to get so excited? But you were just caught up in the moment. You suddenly became a supporter. You kind of left the professional end of it, being a commentator on one side. You suddenly became a supporter. You caught up in the moment, and I suppose it'll be for eternity now. It'll always be remembered. Getting away from it.
And it was compared to Gary Neville's reaction to Torres's goal against Barcelona, so that's not a bad
comparison. That's not a bad comparison, in fairness, so it's not. No, I've seen that already.
You never know, BBC could be calling you up yet, so we're going to go to that clip right now.
Falling into the hands of number 7 there, Mickey Moran. Mickey Moran, the man, picked up a yellow card now. There's another opportunity for Monaghan. Can they do it? It's juggling about. Hey, Goran pushes back.
Penalty. It's a penalty. It's a penalty.
It is a penalty. It is a penalty for Monaghan.
It's a penalty for Monaghan.
A penalty for Monaghan. Can you believe it? We're going into injury time. 2 points in it. 3-9 to 2-14. A penalty for Monaghan. A push on the back of Fergal
McMahon has the ball in his hand.
History could be made
here. He's not letting anyone take this. This is unbelievable.
Fergal McMahon is the man standing over the ball. Brendan Rice having a word in his ear. 68 years of heartbreak could be put to bed with this kick. It's 3-9 to 2-14. There's 2 points in it. Fergal McMahon is standing over the ball. He looks confident. Sean Fox is dancing on the goal line. Can you believe it is down to this? 3-9 to 2-14. Fergal McMahon to give Monaghan a 1 point lead. He's running up.
It's in the back of the net.
Goal! Goal for Monaghan!
It's in the back of the net.
3-9 to 2-14. Can you believe it? A 1 point lead for Monaghan. 2 minutes remaining.
Sean
It's
Fox is
vital.
worried with this kick.
By Sean McCaffrey, just the excitement and the energy you created, I mean, on that day, and especially from on people, you know, that will really kind of live with them. But even listening back to it there, you know, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, well, I haven't much hair in my head, but it's still stamping the bit that I do have, to be honest with you, and it's amazing. I was even, the words was going back through my head there again about Sean Fox dancing on the line, and there's only 2 points in it, unbelievable. As I say, you just got caught up in the moment of it, I suppose, and the historic nature of it, and that maybe then suddenly was in the back of my head that like, this was a first for Monaghan. It was the first, obviously, ever it was going to be broadcast on air and stuff like that as well, and it's just an incredibly emotional moment, I suppose. And as I say, there's times you listen to it and you go, oh my God, that was highly unprofessional the way you reacted there, and then there's other times you listen to it and you go, what a moment, wow. And it was just such a privilege and honour maybe to have been there, witnessed it, and to be part of it now then as well, obviously.
I'm sure you're not the first commentator to maybe let their
true colours show through,
show through. But like that commentating, it's just not as easy as it looks, and you have to create such a visual picture for people at home listening on the radio. Tell us a little bit about, you know, how your whole career started in radio and with Northern Sound. Yeah,
well, I suppose 1992, 93, I was heavily involved with Macron and Firm. I got involved in at that time. They used to run a half-hour programme, Bandwagon, Saturday evening.
Yeah, remember that one.
And in fairness, Northern Sound, the local radio, give an opportunity for them to go in and to be able to broadcast for this half hour. So we went in and done it live, you know, so it was completely all new to us. So went in, done that, and never thought more of it. But in fairness then, got friendly with a lad that I used to work with, and he run inevitably one of the little pirate stations. It used to broadcast 3-4 mile of a radius from his house, and he approached me one time and says, would you be interested in coming to radio? And I says, well, yeah, I'll give it a little go. So I used to go in, I used to enjoy it, sitting in a room, chatting, talking away, playing the music that you liked and that. And again, never really considered that it would be a career that I'd take up. And in fairness then, he contacted me again. He said, Northern Sound's looking for presenters, through a CV, a demo disc in, and I've never looked back. It's the kind of business that I got my foot in the door. I was very lucky at the time I got it in. The door opened, and when you get an opportunity like that, you grab it with both hands, and got then in with the breakfast roll, do the sport and stuff like that as well. And when you're doing something that you love and enjoy, it's not a job, I'll be honest with you, it's not a job, it's a hobby. And it's a hobby you're getting a few pound for as well, so you can't complain. Like, it's not every day you get to go to these sporting events on any, whatever level of sport it is, and to be involved in it and to talk to the sports personalities and stuff like that as well, and to be part of it.
Sounds great. You really wake everybody up in the morning. You're so energetic in the mornings. I'm like thinking, how does he do this? You know, are you a morning person?
Well, yeah, I suppose people say you're a morning person, yeah, but you're getting up to do something you love. If you had told me a couple of years ago you're going to be having an alarm clock going off at 5:15 in the morning to get you out to go to your work and to be start working at 7 o'clock, I'd tell you to go take a run and jump for yourself. But when you're getting up to do something you love, it's not even a consideration, to be honest with you. You go up, you go in, do the job. You get a great energy out of it. You get a great vibe out of it. You know.
And a great team there in Northern Sound.
There is, it's good
Julianne
support.
Sheridan and
and it's good picking out of them all inside, and it's like a family. It's nothing similar like what you have here, Louise. In fairness, you have a family behind you. People don't always be aware of, and you're kind of bouncing and working off them and working off the ideas and stuff like that. And I say, when you're doing something you love, it's so much easier.
Which is great. We have some photographs actually that you sent in, so we're just going to pop them up on your screen now, and Sean, you'll talk us through some of these moments in your career.
Well, that's Andres Mikkelsen. That's one of the World Rally competitors at the moment, and highlighted earlier on, I suppose we're blessed with the region as well, in that these World Rally drivers have come here to do testing for particular events and that, and I'd made the comparison. It'd be like same as Brazil coming to train maybe ahead of a World Cup game, that you have these guys here. So Andres at the moment, I think, is sitting third in the World Rally Championship. So he didn't finish Argentina, but finished third in the previous 3 events and that. So it's a great opportunity to have a chat with him there as well. He's with Volkswagen at the moment. I see he had the Skoda gear on him there. So obviously they move about through the teams. But it was a nice opportunity to get chatting and talking to him there. So it was
great.
These are some of the things. Location. Bog snorkeling, no doubt you've heard of it.
Right.
And
I've heard about this.
You heard about it. So the opportunity arose one time. The National Bog Snorkeling, of course, does be held in the region here as well. And me being me, decided I'd give it a go. So I'm actually recording live there on radio. And again, it's another one of those little bit of audio bits that kind of has went viral of itself. My complete reaction, because you've been recorded, like you just said, would immediately come into here. So it was cold, and I was walking up actually the length that I couldn't swim obviously because I have a microphone in my hand. But there was something moving in the water. To this day, I don't know what was moving in the water. There was something scared me moving in the water, and I was never told what was in the water, but the reaction did tell us all.
Right.
So it did. An opportunity, as I say, a wonderful thing when you're in this business of media, you do get to meet some great people. It was John Giles, it was down in Gordy Keegan and I one time had a wonderful opportunity to meet him and chat to him. And again, you see these people obviously on screen, on TV and that, and it's lovely to get an opportunity then to meet and talk to them from the other side of the camera and that as well, and they're all very grounded, down to earth people. Like it's amazing, you'd be thinking, oh, I can't talk. Again, another
jogging
part of the radio, jogging about.
That
that was a high heel race. Myself, Mr. Johnny O'Keefe had. I'm in.
I had the high heel runner in here a few weeks ago.
Right, yeah.
She writes a blog, the high heel runner, but you could have joined the high heel runner in the London Marathon recently.
Well, I tell you, that was one lap around the studio and was more than enough for me in high heels with the rally suit and all on me. The gentleman that's into the World Championship semi-finals at the moment, Judd Trump. Again, he was in the region back a number of years ago doing an exhibition. I had a chance then to talk to him and that as well. So it was nice again, as I say, to meet up with these guys. Katie Taylor, the Olympic champion, of course. A lovely lady to have interviewed as well. Very quiet spoken. Kind of shy maybe of herself as well, but very, very, very approachable. That was actually a book signing in the Crown Oak bookstore as well, in Cavan. And we had a great chat with her that day as well. And as I say, very unassuming what she has achieved. That's the night navigation. That's me in panic mode, looking for the time card back there.
I think our screen's in panic mode there at the moment.
It's in a little bit of panic mode as well. Yes, looking for the time card back. So we're obviously arrived at a time point. You get your time, and then you move on to your next one then as well. I can see the potty lamp actually in the corner of it there, and we have what you call a roamer as well, which does all the measuring for you and the distances you have to go and stuff like that.
Oh, sounds great.
So and that's just marking out the map prior to the event. Again, you get a look at the roamer
really
there once more. And
you one wrong,
oh yeah, and you can go wrong. It has happened.
Then, things
So I seen the rally car going up past me there as well, and that's Sean Kelly. Another opportunity, obviously, to meet up and chat to him. And again, another lovely man to have interviewed, and actually went out cycling with him after that. That's why I have a bit of high vis gear on me there as well. So there's an opportunity to do that. Tommy Bowe, of course, another man, and I should have stood on a chair for that particular picture. I think he's very tall, very, very tall. I didn't realise until the picture was taken. And Martin Wolfie Adams, of course, former darts world champion then as well, visited us in the studio actually. And again, great gentleman, some wonderful stories that probably couldn't make it to air. So.
Oh, brilliant. I was going to say, Sean McCaffrey, this is your life. You're laughing like this on the phone.
That's right,
This is going to be like your life. Your career's only starting. It sounds like it's all over. In a short, I suppose, number of years, you've really made your mark in Northern Sound. But delighted that you took time to come in and speak to me on All About Sport. And I suppose if anybody's watching, tune in to Northern Sound on weekdays, and you'll get to hear Breakfast Rolls with Sean McCaffrey. Well, thank you so much, Sean.
Thanks very much, Louise, for the opportunity. Thank you.
So coming up next is our well-informed traders in Boyle Sports, Rory and Damien, and here to give them all much-needed tips and predictions for the upcoming sports event that's taking place this weekend.
Thanks, Louise. Right, Damien, start off this week. Start off Premier League darts.
Yeah, this is your baby here, the Premier League darts. You want to take it from the top?
Yeah, we'll start off. The first game sees Dave Chisnell take on Adrian Lewis. Lewis is 6-5, Chisnell 8-5, and the draw is priced up at 7-2. Lewis managed to get a draw against Taylor last week, 6-all. It was a great match.
Yeah, great match, good performance by Lewis.
Yeah.
I just can't be convinced by him. I say it every week. I just can't be convinced by him.
Chizzy's after losing the last two in a row, so he'll want to get back to winning ways this week. Now, whether he will or not, I fancy the draw in this game.
Yeah, the good form's come to an end now. The two players really just, Chizzy's just come out of form after being on a great run, and Lewis just can't hit form,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there at 7-2 in the draw.
Chizzy bet him 7-2 in the first week. Now for that to occur again is a 12-1 shot, but as we had said, Lewis has improved dramatically since then, so we can't see that happening.
It's all about his attitude. His attitude's improved.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll go for the draw in this first game, Demo, yeah?
Yeah, I'd agree with you there.
Okay, second game sees Raymond van Barneveld take on Gary Anderson. This is going to be a great match. It was a draw in this game in week 9, 6-all. Now, the draw this time around is a 7-2 shot. Barney's priced up at 11-5 and Anderson at 9-10 shot. Barney's value this week, Demo.
That's a big price there, 11-5.
He's after winning his last four matches.
Yeah, odds on isn't really appealing there on Gary Anderson. Like, they both blow hot and cold.
Yeah.
You know, so you'd have to take the 11-5.
Stephen Bunting bet Anderson last week 7-1.
Exactly.
But now Anderson went out then and won the last game 7-5 against Van Gerwen. So
just what I'm saying, blowing hot and cold.
Yeah.
You just can't depend on them, like, you know. But then if it go against either of them players to make you look silly too, like, but you have to go with the price in this game. 11-5.
We're going with Barney.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
Fair
pure value bet, like.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can't argue with that. Third game sees James Wade take on Stephen Bunting. Wade got absolutely annihilated last week by Van Gerwen, 7-0.
Yeah, I think we said that here last week too.
Yeah.
MVG could blow Wade away. I don't think Wade's a top player anymore.
No,
really.
he
seems to have lost interest a bit. Like,
yeah,
he's
you know, starting to slip away now.
They don't call him the machine anymore. Like, you know.
The machine stopped.
Exactly.
Slowed down. The draw in this game is a 7-2 shot, but I fancy Bunting. He had to win last week against Anderson, the world champion. What a performance to go out and beat him 7-1.
Put him into the ground. Yeah. You have to jump on top of that form now. He's going to be on a high.
Yeah, definitely. So we're taking Bunting at 8-5 in this.
Yeah, we double up on him.
Fourth game, MVG taking on Phil the Power Taylor. This is going to be another great match. These two lads met in week 6. MVG came out a 7-3 winner. For that to occur this week is an 8-1 shot. The draw is a 7-2 shot in this match. Van Gerwen 9-10 and Taylor 11-5.
Taylor won't want to lose 2 in a row to him, like, you know. Van Gerwen is looking like he's going to take over from Taylor as the consistent world number 1.
Yeah,
like, you know. And
Van Gerwen is going to win this. Taylor's starting to slip off. His form's very erratic over the last couple of weeks.
Very erratic, yeah.
So we're going for MVG. Like,
Taylor could raise his game, like, you know, and make us look silly, like taking them on, but. You're right, we have to.
Although one thing I will say, 2 weeks ago we highlighted Barney slowing MVG down and he bet him. Taylor could do the exact same.
This is the master. This is the master of dissecting other people's games, like, you know.
Now, how often do you get 9-10 on Van Gerwen though?
Exactly, you know. He's normally 1-3, 1-4, silly prices, like, you know.
So I'm going to take the 9-10 on Van Gerwen.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you.
For Thursday night. Now, the last game sees Adrian Lewis take on Barney. These two will have thrown earlier on in the night. Lewis is priced up at 6-5, Barney 8-5, the draw is 7-2. Lewis blitzed Barney 7-1 earlier on in the league. For that to occur is a 20-1 shot. 20-1 shot that's never going to happen, Demo.
I wouldn't say never. No.
No, well, it's not going to happen. Simple as, like, if Lewis beats Chizzy earlier on in the night, he'll be on top form. You'd nearly want the two lads to win their earlier matches.
Oh yeah, you want them going in full of confidence.
This will be a great match, like.
Should be, yeah. It's a great way to finish the night off. Like, you've 2 former world champions there at the end of the night too. Like, a lot will probably depend on the games, or how the games go earlier on in the night too.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't. I'd get hard to commit myself to this now without seeing them throw.
Yeah, I fancy the draw. I'm going to sit in the fence. I don't think Lewis could end up drawing his 2 matches on Thursday.
So any room in that fence, I might join you up there. Go for a draw as well. Like,
yeah, well,
bit of 7-2 action then. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Next we'll move on to the All Ireland Under-21 football final taking place on Sunday at 4.
Yeah, you have the Ulster champions Tyrone and the Munster champions Tipperary. Tyrone are 5-6, Tipperary 13-10, and a draw 13-2. Now, Tipperary are after beating Dublin, the reigning All Ireland Under-21 champions in the semi-final, and they actually had a lot of last year's team. Yeah, they had McHugh fell in full forward. You know, he was an excellent player. He's probably going to be the next star of Dublin GAA over the next couple of years. A lot of this Tipperary team, I think there's 3 or 4 of them on it that would have been on the All Ireland minor winning team
from 3 years ago.
I think it was 3 years ago. Yeah, so they're a good price there, 13-10. You know, it's under 21 football. Tyrone, obviously, like ourselves, Calvin, would have great pedigree in this age group, from minors on the 21s and that. Their pedigree would actually go back longer than ours. I watched the semi-final with them in Roscommon. It was a really bad game to watch. It was a dour game. Like,
it was typical Ulster team, let's say, playing in it. You know, it's very tight to break Tyrone down. Peter Donnelly has joined them again. He was with the Cavan senior team last year.
Yeah, that's 5 on the 21s in a row for him. Like, it was some achievement.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Now, I personally, I can't decide who to go for, but but the value bet would be 13-10, like or Tipperary, always renowned for
or
having
even
good
13-2 for the draw, like you know, if you can't split them, like I'm kind of leaning towards Tipperary because the Tipperary Dublin game was a great game, like you know, it was end-to-end scoring, like it was the way probably football should be played, like you know, we played with the handbrake off, you know, but yeah, I'll stick with Tipperary. 13.
Well, after beating the Dubs in the semi-final and then coming through a province that included Kerry and Cork as well.
Exactly, you have to respect that, like you know.
So we're going for Tip in the semi-final. Now the All Ireland hurling final takes place on Sunday at 3:30 as well. Cork are priced up at 4-7, Waterford 7-4, and the draw is 9-1 shot. Cork are 4-7 for a reason, obviously.
Yeah, Tipperary were overwhelming favourites to beat Waterford in the semi-final. Waterford completely ran away with Tipperary in that game. Like, you know, I don't know, the Tipperary totally take them for granted, or Waterford that good, but apparent shortly after half-time Tipperary were not going to get back into that game. You know, Waterford completely had them beaten every single department. Like, you know, Cork are probably a bit more wily than Tipperary. You know, they will not. Jimmy Barry Murphy's over them. He will not take anyone for granted. Like, seasoned campaigner. 4-7 is a bit short though. Waterford will be all heart. You know,
Waterford teams have always given their all, like, you know, over the last couple of years.
Even when they won Munster there a couple of years ago, remember the Sunday game cameras was in the dressing room and they were singing the tune to the summer game. Like, you know, they're the perennial underdog. Like, you know, they can win a Munster title, that they just can never get over the finish line to win an All Ireland or that. Like, I'd love to see them win it, but it's going to be a big ask to beat Cork. Cork are potential All Ireland contenders too. Like, might have a bit of draw action here at 9-1, like just for the interest.
Not ruling it out.
Not ruling it out. Well, that's basically the GA covered for
for this weekend. Next of all, we're going to move on to the rugby. Toulon and Clermont are playing on Saturday evening at 5:30, if my memory serves me right.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Rory.
Toulon are going for their third in a row. They have players cream of the crop from World Rugby playing with them this year. Well, for the last 3 years as well. They'll want to make it 3 in a row. Dad Wilkinson was playing last year and he hasn't seemed to be, you know, it hasn't been a big
missed
loss.
Them at all. Like, if you buy halfpenny from the
Wales
team.
is doing all the kick, or from halfpenny's doing all the kicking this year. So
they're a Chelsea or Man City if you wanted the rugby world. They've bought up all the good talent. Like, they've heavily invested in that.
Yeah.
France is the place to play rugby at the time.
Sabana from South Africa's playing.
Sabana from South Africa
as well.
Like Clermont too, another French team in the final there.
Yeah.
There goes, it says it all. That's
just French rugby's just dominating all the.
Probably not going to be the interest in it
Hemisphere.
here now because Munster or Leinster or Ulster aren't.
Yeah, well,
in it,
Leinster held Toulon over the 80 minutes, and they got into whenever they got into extra time. It was just the experience told for Toulon, so it did, you know,
and all round quality, like, you know.
Yeah, I'd be happy to take Toulon on though. The fact that it's at a neutral ground and like the draw is a 14-1 shot. Like, that's a massive
price. Yeah, for two teams. One's 4-5, one's 13-10 too. So there's no overwhelming favourite or overwhelming outsider either.
Yeah. We take the draw this.
We go with draw. To win 3 European Cups, regardless in any sport, it was going to be a big ask.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. Yeah,
a soccer team wouldn't do it or anything too. So you kind of maybe apply the same principles to rugby here.
Yeah.
It's a big ask to do 3 in a row. Like, you know, go back to the well 3 years in a row. Right, we go with the draw.
We're sticking on the fence an awful lot tonight.
That's a big fence, isn't it? It's a big fence.
Let me see. The next thing then we'll move on to is the Premier League football.
Premier League football, yeah. You want to start here?
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning sees Leicester take on Newcastle. Leicester 10-11, and Newcastle are a 3-1 shot. The draw is priced up at 12-5. Leicester going for 5 in a row. Them 5 in a row.
5 in a row. They're 4th bottom from the Premier League, and they're odds on. Like, what is the story there? Like,
the story is Newcastle have lost their last 7 games.
Yeah, we see it here. We've probably said it for the last 7 weeks here. They're on holidays. Like,
Newcastle could be actually dragged into this relegation zone if they don't open their eyes fairly quickly.
They have serious amount of injuries as well, don't they? Like, you buy John Carver, he is a Geordie. And he's still getting abused. They're just the Newcastle fans.
They want the owner out.
They don't want anyone, but who do they want?
Yeah,
you know,
they didn't want Pardew at the start of the season. They wanted him out, and then he started winning games. He bet Chelsea, bet Liverpool, and then he was the next. He was.
Look at how well he's doing at Palace now.
Yeah.
Oh, but he wasn't good enough for Newcastle.
Wasn't good
like,
enough,
you know.
no.
Like,
but Nuke, they're so passionate about their football up there. They just want instant success, but that doesn't happen these days.
they're getting everything they deserve. Everything they deserve. They want. What they want to do is shut their mouth and just support their team. Like,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know?
Yeah, it's all that divisions isn't good for the football at all. Anyways, we'll move on.
We go with Leicester, yeah. 5 in a row, 10
Five
to
in a
11,
row.
yeah.
5 in a row for the Leicester boys. Second game, 3 o'clock games now are Villa taking on Everton. Villa at 17-10. Everton are 13-8 shot, and the draws 11-5.
2 informed teams here at the middle. Look at the height and Everton gave United. That, like, no one see the staunchest toffee did not see that coming. Like, you know.
Not a chance. We fancied United last week and priced up at 6-5, but
I think there was an awful lot of complacency in United's part too. Like, you know, they had the hard work done against Tottenham, against Liverpool, against Man City. They did play well against Chelsea. Chelsea only nicked the goal on them. And see, this is the kind of Fergie factor now. You would have kept the kind of momentum going, whereas standard silence seemed to drop. They got caught a few times in this season after good results. Swansea caught them on the hop. Leicester caught them. Like, you know, they seem to disrespect the weaker teams.
And their defence is starting to, you know, they're starting to get sloppy at the back lately as well.
It's the injuries too. Rojo Jones is out. Carrick went out was
Johnny,
a massive loss.
Possibly is the main reason for.
He makes it all tick for United, doesn't he? Like, but then, like we're saying there, you'd have to give Everton credit for the way they play too. But these are the 2 form teams in the Premiership at the minute.
Villa
they're just attacking teams to beat the band.
So unlucky not to get a result. Although I did tip them up now to win. City to win, and both teams to score last weekend.
See, City's first goal was an absolute howler from the keeper.
Look at that.
Villa done the hard work and got themselves back in.
Well, why is Shea Given not starting all the time?
Well, I think he might now. Like,
it's madness.
With Goosen doing that. Well, he'd be in for the cup final anyway, and Sherwood might want to get a game or 2 into him before the cup final too. But like, they done the hard work to go back. They could have had a penalty, and Joe Hart should have been sent off.
Should have, absolutely, definitely. It was a stonewall penalty.
You know, there'll be goals in this game. This could be 2-2 or 3-3. Like, both of these teams have nothing to lose, and they'll be going at each other too. Like, I because Villa's at home, I'm going to edge towards Villa here, 17-10. Like, but I wouldn't put you off. You wanted to back Everton.
I'd probably back both teams to score in this game.
So definitely,
but like, since Sherwood has taken over, I think Villa have. He's managing them in 9 games. And they've scored more goals in them 9 games than they had in the previous 25 games when Lambert was managing them.
And I've given up counting how many goals Benteke scored. Like,
he's just on fire. Like,
he's going to be at a big 4 club next year.
He's definitely moving away.
Hopefully United.
Right, moving on. Liverpool. I'd rather just move past this, but anyways, we got to talk about them. 3-10 at home.
Another defeat to Hull now this week. Like, what is going wrong?
It's going from bad to worse.
It's just all gone sour. Has Rodgers thrown the towel in here or what? Like, they did before they played Man United, they were in good form. They were very much in contention for a top 4. Bad result. I think they have class players.
Sturridge missing is a big loss. So.
Sturridge is a big loss. But Sterling's there. They brought Lambert in the summer, who scored 15, 16 goals for Southampton last season. Like, you know, Barini scored 10, 11 goals maybe for Sunderland.
Yeah, but that's Southampton and Sunderland.
I just think Rodgers is a good coach and all that, but I just think he's soft. He's soft.
He talks the talk, but he doesn't walk the walk.
He doesn't instill like will to win and belief in these players. Like, they are good players. Like, that Markovic is going to be a good player. Like, you know, but I don't know. I 3-10 definitely wouldn't.
QPR are fighting for their lives.
They're scrapping for their lives. Yeah, they're not reliable.
17-4. It kills me, but I'm going to go for the draw in this game.
I think I might be on last match of the day too, like going by Liverpool's last couple of performances.
Well, the next game could be last on Sunderland against
Southampton.
Sunderland are 16-5 shot. The draw is 9-4, and Southampton are 20-21.
They're so bad, Sunderland. They just survived. They've had a great run.
They're definitely going down.
They had a great run this time last year when they won something like 6 games in a row and that. But like, they're so bad. They didn't kick on or improve from it at all.
I can't understand the appointment of Dick Advocat at all. Like,
they could get no one else.
Did he even have any previous Premier League experience?
No,
I know he managed for Rangers, but that's a totally different league. Like,
you might as well manage Cavan Town.
They're getting all that they deserve, so they are, as far as I'm concerned. Sunderland,
Southampton, although results have dried up a bit on them, like, you know, they still have played well. It's just the goals dry up on them, like, you know, but they're going to be good enough to beat Sunderland. Didn't they thank them 8-0 or something at the start of the season?
Yes, they did. Is right.
They did. So maybe not as much, but a convincing victory, 2-3-0 anyway.
Southampton. Pele scored twice last weekend as well.
He's back. He's back.
Get on him first.
Get on Pele.
Right, next game, Swansea 5-4, Stoke are 12-5 and a draw 11-5 demo.
Both teams have overachieved this season. Both teams are going for their highest place finish in the Premiership. I'd fancy Stoke here. Fancy Stoke. Swansea, we said it before last couple of weeks, they didn't replace Boney. Gomez is struggling with injuries and that too. Just the lack of firepower. Like they're a very good team.
They're trying to get that Montero fella back. If he came back, he'd be a massive gain for them.
Sigerson's goals have dried up as well too. Stoke seem to have can get goals from a few different people.
And Sunderland scored an early goal against them last weekend, and they came back and got a 1-1 draw. Like
they're very
fighting spirit in that Stoke team.
Yeah, I think 12-5. Yeah, I would. That'd appeal to me.
I wouldn't be touching it personally because it's too hard to call. Like.
Yeah.
Anyways, West Ham at home to Burnley. The Hammers are 11-10, Burnley 5-2, and the draw is a 23-10 shot.
Burnley just can't score lately, can they? Like for all their effort and all their good work, they're probably the best small club ever to be in the Premiership as regards overachieving. Like they spent 3 million in the summer. Like you know, probably Falcao earns that in the month at United. Like you know, that's the level you're dealing with. West Ham look to be on holidays as well, similar to Newcastle. They want Big Sam out for no good reason.
Burnley got a penalty last weekend. They missed it. Leicester went up the field, scored. That's a massive 6-pointer for them.
Unfortunately,
I think they're doomed at this stage.
I do like their attitude and all that. They're a hard-working team, but like, just the lack of quality, they can't.
Yeah, it's coming to the fore now. With the
might nick a draw here, depending on how good West Ham turn up on the day.
West Ham are pretty good enough at Upton Park now. They're playing their last few games at Upton Park before they move to this Olympic Stadium, so they'll want to show the fans. But anyways, we move on to the other clubs now. United are at home to West Brom. United are 3's on.
Should get a reaction from United after last week's result, but
West Brom 17-2, and the draw is a 19-5 shot.
Maybe 19-5
for
the draw?
No, United are certs.
There should be a reaction.
They will win. They're going to win.
Tony Pulis will set up to just sit back and let United have all the ball, all the play in front.
West Brom can't score.
Well,
they can't score. United.
They didn't have any problem scoring against United early on this season.
United to win 2-0, 11-10 bet.
I'd love to be as confident as you to back United.
Oh, absolutely. Like you can't. Like Everton they won 3-0, but realistically
United did have all the play for 60 minutes of that game. Every time Everton got a chance, they stuck it in the net, like you know.
Obviously the defending was atrocious, but that's not going to be. West Brom haven't got the same class that
Everton has. Nowhere near. Like, why would you rather have Lukaku or Berahino? You know what I mean? But I'd say United might scrape it, but I wouldn't be as confident as you would now.
No,
hopefully you're right.
Well, probably not.
Right, the Chelsea against Palace.
Chelsea 4-11, Palace 8-1, and the draw is 18-5.
Palace will give them plenty of it.
They will give them plenty.
Especially the way
Chelsea can wrap up the league this weekend, so they'll go out all guns blazing. Well, they can win the league with other results going their way. Like if Hull get a result against Arsenal on Monday night, if Chelsea can win the league, like.
I think Mourinho's going to take no chances mode the last couple of games.
They're going to win this game 2 or 3-0. Palace have gone off the boil in the last couple of weeks, or after losing a fortune from City money on the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Chelsea minus the goal 21-20 if you don't want to play the short odds.
Yeah, I think they'll win, but I don't think there'll be a lot in it. I think maybe a 1-0. If they go 1-0 up, Mourinho will just park the bus as he always does and just take no chances.
Sunday games, Spurs 11-4, City 20-21, and 13-5 to draw in this game.
There are two teams.
There's going to be goals here.
I can't work them two teams out lately at all. Like you know, there is going to be goals, but
Spurs are massive 11-4 at home, are they not?
Who's going to score these goals? Like you know, like
Harry Kane's confidence is up. They scored 2 last weekend. That was a great game with them in Southampton. I fancy over 2.5 goals in this game. Over 2.5 goals. Wild Sports 13-10.
Yeah, I fully agree with you there. I couldn't back either of these teams with any confidence, like you know.
Like if you look at the firepower on both teams and then you look at the defences,
there's no defence in either team.
That's what I mean. You know, like I think the over 2.5 goals is a great bet.
Oh yeah. We go trailer Harry Kane hat-trick one end, maybe Aguero hat-trick the other end. Like, you know.
That leads us on to the Monday night game, which sees Arsenal take on Hull at Kingston. Hull are after beating Liverpool 19-4. Will not last. Prices probably will have changed.
City, people will be getting stuck in the Hull now after the result of the Liverpool game.
The draw is 13-5 and Arsenal's 8-13. Now Arsenal might drift out, but they're still going to win this game. They have to win it.
Would that 3 points put holding a bit of safety now, like
Well,
they might ease off.
It'll help them a bit. Arsenal winning both teams to score them on Monday night 13-5.
Definitely.
Whatever
Arsenal,
you want on
Arsenal are tailor-made to rip up these kind of smaller teams in the Premiership too. Yeah, Sanchez could have a field day here like in Giroud.
Yeah. So
we're fully all in there. Arsenal to win, yeah.
Yeah, both teams to score.
Both
Well,
teams
Hull might nick a goal.
Might nick a goal,
13-5.
yeah.
Like, if you don't want to play the short odds in Arsenal, you can...
Yeah, say a 3-4-1.
Yeah.
Right, will we move on to the main event of the weekend?
The main event.
The fight of the century.
Yeah.
Mayweather v Pacquiao. 1-2 Mayweather, 21-10 Pacquiao, 16-1 a draw. What way would you see this?
Well, Mayweather hasn't been beaten in his career, so...
Never looked in trouble. 47 fights, 47 wins, 26 KOs. Pacquiao, a few more fights, 64 fights, 57 wins, and 38 KOs. Now, Mayweather is unbelievable. Mayweather's the nearest thing we've had in boxing to Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
He's unified the WBC and WBO welterweight titles. He's an 8th division world champion. He ticks every box. He's the highest paid professional sports person in the world. Like, you know, he's just unbelievable.
Flying money, Mayweather.
The only thing I don't like about this fight is this fight should have happened 4 or 5 years ago when they were both at their peak.
When they were both at their peak, I'm sure they were trying to get it to happen so many times.
It really does look like Mayweather was dodging Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Because he insisted on all these drug testing and everything, and Pacquiao wouldn't agree to it. And then
Mayweather's not been as bullish coming up to the fight.
No, he's been like a bit of a lamb now compared to what he's been like.
You know, he's not giving the media much info on what's going on, and he's playing his card, keeping his cards close to his chest. You know, like, this could. Well,
you have a classic boxing match. Like you have Mayweather, who's your classic boxer, who's right-handed. You have Pacquiao, who's your brawler, the left-handed southpaw too.
Yeah.
Like I think Mayweather's 5'8", Pacquiao's 5'6.5".
6.5.
They're both 147 pounds just at the welterweight division too. So there's not much in them. Like Mayweather's the slight reach advantage too now, but the one thing with Mayweather the whole of his career is speed. He can get off the jabs really quick and he can get out of the way before anyone touches him now. He hasn't ever been caught full on the chin and really been in trouble. Like Pacquiao is in wars. Obviously he gets beat because the way he fights, he commits into fights too. Like, you know. Yeah.
There's 2 bets you could look at this. You could look Mayweather to win by decision, which is to win in points, is an 8-11 shot. Which
is the most likely way he's going to win, because I don't think he has the power to knock Pacquiao out, but he could be a country mile ahead in points.
And if you really fancy Pacquiao, he more likely, I'm not saying his only chance, but he's a great chance of knocking him out, to win KO, TKO.
I think you're right, the first time, his only chance of winning this fight, he has to knock Mayweather out.
Yeah.
You know, because Mayweather is going to be so far ahead on point. He's going to be so quick. He's going to have 3 or 4 jabs off. Pacquiao's going to get 1 or 2 back, and then Mayweather's going to be gone away from him. Like, you know,
we've actually a copy of all the bets offered coming up on the screen now in the next few minutes. So we'll run down through them demo. Right, as we said, 1-2 Mayweather, 21-10 Pacquiao. The draw is an 18-1 shot. We just run down through these markets quickly. Mayweather by decision or technical decision, that's what we were on about, to win in points, is 8-11.
Yeah.
Mayweather by KO, TKO or disqualification, 13-2.
Big ask.
Yeah, definitely. Pacquiao by decision, technical decision, which is more or less points the same, as 9-2 shot. And this is the one we were talking about, demo. Pacquiao's more or less chance of beating him would be knock him out. So that's priced up at 11-2. And
Pacquiao has plenty of power too, and Mayweather hasn't taken much abuse on his chin. You know, it's when he gets hit in the face, like as Mike Tyson said, everyone had a plan till you get hit in the face.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just how he reacts to getting constant barrage. But he's so quick.
We're also offering money back as a free bet if there's a knockout before the 9th round. So keep your tickets.
Also, if you believe in conspiracy theories and you think they want a second payday out of it, the draw mightn't be a bad bet at 18-1.
18-1.
Controversial draw, you know.
Right, total rounds. Here we go over. So more or less 10 or more rounds is 1-4.
That's a cert, because like
you're probably looking at, well, unless there's
Pacquiao's going to have to wear Mayweather down a certain bit to knock him out as well. So
under. So for this to last 9 or less rounds is a 16-5 shot. Here we go, the fight to go the distance, 1-3. That looks, well, it's a bit longer odds.
I'd rather back it Mayweather 8-11 to win on decision.
Yeah, because more or less if it does go the distance,
Mayweather, I can't see him losing points.
The fight not to go the distance, 12-5 shot. Will there be a knockdown, 4-6, 11-10? There's not much between these.
You'd have to go with 11-10 there, the odds against.
Yeah. Total knockdowns, none. Here again, 4-6, 1 7-4, 2 or more, 9-2.
I think the 2 or 4 might be a player there because both of these guys Pacquiao could get knocked down easily and be back up without a flinch on him. Like, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
Do you know, like,
but then again, if Mayweather gets knocked down, he mightn't get up.
He mightn't get up, yeah, exactly.
which leads us on to the last marker we have here for you is who will record the first knockdown. No knockdown again is a 4-6 shot. Pacquiao to knock Mayweather down, to knock him down first is 11-4, and Mayweather to knock Pacquiao down first is a 16-5 shot.
Yeah, that might be a bit of value, the 16-5 shot, like, because he could hit him with an early flurry and kind of more confuse him than hurt him and could come down. Pacquiao would be straight back up, like, you know.
Yeah.
So,
So that brings us to the end, Demo.
That brings a riff.
It's a massive weekend. Wild Sports are offering a special the weekend. Toulon to win the rugby. The 2,000 guineas. The O'Brien horse is Gleneagles,
yeah, for the 2,000 guineas, yeah. Does the May Madness offer 8-1?
Mayweather to beat Pacquiao. Price up at 8-1.
Big value.
Value, absolutely. Right.
All right.
Louise, that's us done and dusted.
So that's brought us to the end of the show again for this week. Thank you very much to my very special guest, Sean McCaffrey, for joining me on the show. So that's it from the Hotel, Dublin Road, Cavan Town. If you want to feature on the show, find me on Facebook, Louise O'Reilly, or follow at Cavan TV Sport on my Twitter page. Thank you for watching, and it's goodbye from me.